Hey everyone, it's Linnea. Welcome back to my Valentine's Day card video series. Today I'll be using my new February Simon Says Stamp card kit. So I've selected a few supplies. I have the stamp set, a pattern paper, and some cotton candy cardstock. I also have this die from Spellbinders, and it cuts out almost like a notebook page, those top spiral bound notebook pages. It's almost like you tore a page out. So I'm just going to line this up on my cardstock, and I'll never be able to get that whole heart on a card, but I liked the gradient of pink. So I lined that up so I'd have a good gradient, and then I cut that out using my Big Shot. So I'm going to use the Will You Be My Valentine stamp, and I'm going to be stamping that down at the bottom of my tag, but I want to do some embossing. So I'm going to grab my EK Success powder tool, and I'll just rub the powder all over that paper to prevent any static and prevent powder from sticking where I don't want it to be. And then I'll ink it up with my embossing ink. And I'm going to be sprinkling on some Recollections Fine Detail Gold Embossing Powder. And my embossing powder setup is copied from Jennifer McGuire. So if you want to see more about her organization setup, just head over to her blog. I really like the way this is set up now. So I'm going to be doing some more stamping. I'll use this Falling Heart stamp along with some Studio Calico Blush Crush ink. And I liked the falling hearts, but I don't like the two big hearts at the bottom for this particular card because I thought it overwhelmed my sentiment a little bit. So I'm going to be doing some selective inking, and I'm inking up all the hearts except for those bottom two largest stamps. And then I'm going to use a little baby wipe just to make sure that I get all the ink off of those two hearts. And I'll stamp that twice going across the top of my tag. Then I'm going to do some more selective inking, just inking up one or two of the little hearts at a time, so that I could fill in around my sentiment any spots that I thought were a little bit naked. So I'm just going to add some more hearts. Once I finish that, I have the skinniest washi tape I've ever seen in my life. This is from Little Bee, and this is just white washi tape with some gold arrows, and I thought that really helped complement the gold of the sentiment. So now I'm going to be prepping my card base. This is the cotton candy cardstock that came in the kit. It's from Simon Says Stamp. So I cut that in half at 4 1/4, and then rather than pulling out my scoreboard, I'm just going to use the little groove that's on my paper trimmer. And I've lined up my paper with a 5 1/2 inch mark, and then I'm just going to score it down the middle. And that way I can just fold my card in half and crease it with my bone folder, and I'll have my card base ready to go. I really love these arrow stamps, but I didn't want it to be in that chevron pattern. I wanted just a straight line of arrows. So I'm just going to be cutting off one arrow from this stamp, and it doesn't hurt your stamps at all as long as you cut in between the actual images and not through the stamped image. So here I am inking up my stamp with some Well Red ink and also Blush Crush ink again, and I've created two lines of arrows. Now I have this XO border stamp from the stamp set, and I'm inking that up, and I'm going to be stamping that in 3 different places on my card as well. I wanted it to look almost like a random pattern of stamped images. So I thought that I'd add some hearts since there's hearts on my tag. So I'm just inking that up, and I'm going to stamp it down. And you can see that I didn't get a completely stamped image, but that's no problem. These stamps are clear. So I'll just ink up my stamp again and stamp it down right on top of my previously stamped image. So I wanted to have a little bit of a grungy look with my card. So I've taken some Picket Fence Distress Paint from Tim Holtz. I've added a little spritz of water. And I'm going to really saturate my paintbrush in the paint water mixture, and then I'll just use my finger to flick on some paint onto my card. And the white wasn't giving me exactly the look that I was going for, so once I was done with the white, I took some black soot, just a regular distress ink pad. I smushed that down onto my craft mat, added a spritz of water, and then repeated the same process by flicking the paint onto my card. And here you can see that there's a little bit of that black paint. I've also die cut another one of these tag shapes from some cream cardstock that was in the kit. And I'm just going to be using some Tombow Stamp Runner adhesive to adhere the two of these notebook tag shapes together. Once I've finished with that, I'm going to use some more of skinny washi tape, and I have both the arrows and the XO images on the washi tape. I'm going to stick those down randomly. I've added foam dots to the back of my notebook shapes here. I'm going to remove the backing and then put that down on my card, and I'm going to fluff up just those little tabs that are there. So I've die cut some red cardstock using the Holiday Shapes die from Simon Says Stamp, and I also have some gold sequins. I'm going to be using my micro glue dots to stick those down on my card. And then that finishes my card project for today. Thank you for joining me on this Valentine's Day card series, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!